Welcome back to the UTEP Miners Dynasty here, everyone. We are in episode 3, taking on a triple header today as the UTEP Miners will be at home all 3 games of this episode. We'll start off with one out-of-conference game and then take on our first 2 conference opponents in Conference USA of this year as we start off with the UL Monroe Warhawks out of the Sun Belt Conference. Pretty much a perpetual bottom feeder here, but they are 1-1 on the season, same as us. And we want to go ahead and make something happen in this episode. Actually, I guess we're 1-2 to be fair. Starting off with an RPO throw out here to Azimwa, and he will get 9 yards, as I do want to get him involved more. He's just been an unreliable pass catcher thus far in the season. And then rolling out, Nelson can't hit his target on the move. Just off target a little bit there. Now Nelson rolling out left. He's going to take off and run with this one. He gets the first down, but then the ball pops out. It's kind of a scrum for it, and UL Monroe lands on the ball there. One thing I have not been impressed with at all thus far in this game is when fumbles happen. It's just kind of ridiculous. And we'll start off with a 3-0 deficit here as they would go ahead and score a field goal. Sean Wilson getting out to about the 34. Now Nelson takes off for a first down. I definitely want to try to use his legs more in this episode, as I feel like we haven't done a great job of it thus far. And then a Sean Wilson 8-yard run. Definitely need to feature him more as well, even if it's in the pass game. Gotta find some ways to get him the ball, as on 3rd and 3. Cannot hit Smith there for the first down. We'll go for it. 4th and 3. We're in this one underneath it. It gets batted down at the line. UTEP turnover on downs. So we'll get to see our first look at Monroe's offense today, as their quarterback Armenta is going to take off and run with this one down to the 23-yard line. That's Aiden Armenta, a 22-yard run. 1st and 10, Armenta dropping back, and he'll be sacked. That is KD Johnson there, the defensive tackle, making the play. Been impressed with him so far in this season. Armenta now running out of time, and he gets sacked again by KD Johnson. Back to back there for him. And the UTEP defense comes up big once again, forcing another field goal, as this game is only 6 points when they've gotten 2 cracks at it. Deep shot here, and it's caught. Kenny Odom down to the 10, the 5, and Malachi Nelson connecting with Odom on the streak there. Gets a big gain. Now Nelson rolling out to the right, throwing this one to the end zone. Thomas can't come down with it for a touchdown. 3rd and goal to 7. Nelson to the end zone again. Broken up for a Sean Wilson, and that'll force a field goal. So Monroe's defense comes up big now. Armenta, too much time in the pocket, steps up and finds his target there, 30 yards down the field. And it's 1st and 10 inside the 20 now. Armenta on the screen pass out. Down inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line there. Now a handoff, McReynolds outside, and he will easily score this one. Not even touched. McReynolds with the touchdown there, and Monroe takes a 10-point lead. Back on offense, handoff, Wilson, and he'll gain 5 yards, as the UTEP offense needs to get something going here. Outside of that fade route, it's really been nothing. Azimwa with the first down on the little curl. It's 1st and 10 at the 36, still running that no huddle. Handoff, Wilson up the middle. He's got a big gain here of about 13 yards. Finally getting something going with Wilson. 1st and 10 dropping back as a screen pass out to him, and he's got some blockers in front of him. He'll pick up another 10. So heavily featuring Hashan Wilson today. Now 1st and 10, Nelson going to throw it to him once again. Big gain here, about 20 yards. Wilson down into the red zone, and it's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now 2nd and 14, Nelson dropping back, throwing this one. It's batted up and intercepted. Picked off there by number 5, Pollen. And he's running. Nelson going to track him down like DK Metcalf. But a big time bat and then interception. I don't even know how that's possible. And now Monroe goes up 20-3. We're nearing the end of the first half here. Throw to Hashan Wilson again. He's got 55 yards receiving on the day. Now 2nd and 6. Who else? It's Hashan Wilson, and he drops this one. A little too much heat on that from Nelson. Now 3rd and 6, rolling out. Nelson throwing this one deep. Azimwa can't come down with the jump ball. And we will go for it. I don't know about this call. Nelson out. Wilson caught, and he's got a first down. Wilson jukes inside, and he's down to the 42-yard line. We continue to force feed him the ball. Definitely the feature back today, and Nelson throwing this one out. Broken up Azinwa. Just not able to catch some of these jump balls, and we will go for it again instead of kicking the field goal. I don't know about this call. Throw it into traffic, and it's broken up for a turnover on downs. Just too aggressive there from Atari Mason. So 3rd and 4 after the 2-minute warning here, and that one's not intercepted. And I still have not seen our defense catch one wide open interception. Now Smith catching this one down to the 39-yard line. It's 3rd and 4. And Nelson dropping back. Going to throw this one underneath. Caught Kenny Odom down to the 50. As we do keep the chains moving. Definitely need a score here. Having it be 14 points right here would have been pretty important. Instead, we're going to miss our target there. I don't understand how that throw is not placed well. Nelson just not the most accurate. And now another turnover on downs here with a minute left in the half. And Monroe would take advantage of this halftime where we turned it over twice actually, and on downs twice. Really unimpressive offense from this UTEP Miners offense, and Monroe took every advantage they could. So 20-3, and this one's a screen pass out to Sean Wilson. We're going to continue things going there. About a 9-yard gain as Nelson crosses 200 yards on the day. 2nd and inches. Nelson taking off and running. A lot of green in front of him, and he will get this one down to the 20, the 15, and he steps out of bounds. Nice run there as Dylan Howell for ULM comes up hurt. And if you are enjoying this series, please go ahead and give a like on this episode. Leave a comment as well with any constructive criticisms or any just positive comments you have as Smith takes this one down to the 3. I really want to see this series get going. The first episode was great. The second episode a little disappointing as Sean Wilson runs it in for a touchdown. So definitely like, subscribe, and if you want to have notifications for my videos, go ahead and turn those on. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, back to our game here as we brought it within 10. And this game could have been 13-20 right now. Of course, some bad calls from Atari Mason. Defense not able to bring him down here. 10-yard run with contact from McReynolds. Handoff straight up the middle, and the Red River parts, I suppose. I don't know if the Red Sea, it's not really the Red River here in El Paso either, but the Brazos parts, maybe? Is that the word? Or is that the river? I should know my Texas geography better than that. As we do force a field goal out of ULM. Back on offense again, and this one not able to be caught. Smith trying to get that one, but that was PI, and we will take that. 2nd and 6 now, throwing this one out for Cam Thomas. He's got it on the curl route for a first down. And 2nd and 10, rolling out Nelson. Finds Brown, wide open on the slant, down to the 34-yard line. So that'll be 1st and 10 for the Miners. Still in that no huddle. We really have to at this point. I don't know that we can trust we'll have enough opportunities as Cam Thomas catches this one for a first down. 250 yards passing on the day for Nelson, who does apparently appear hot. And he'll run this down to the 10-yard line despite those 2 interceptions. That's pretty cool. Nelson is on fire throwing the ball now, and he's going to not elect to throw this one to Kenny Odom. Instead, he'll run it down to the 5 as Sean Wilson clutching his arm on that play, blocking out of the backfield, and we will find Azinwa in the end zone for a touchdown. But we will find out later that would be a big loss of Sean Wilson as he dislocated his elbow. This will sideline him for a few weeks at least. And in comes Ashton Emery. So now the defense needs to make something happen here. ULM already across midfield. At the 34-yard line now. 1st and 10. Handoff. McReynolds wide open again. The run defense has just been putrid today as Braylon McReynolds is stacking up the yards. Now the RPO to the end zone. Caught at the 1. A shot off the RPO and then a handoff to McReynolds into the end zone, and it's back to a 2-score game. So the UTEP defense, which did well in the first half, not so well here in the second half. Nelson going to check this one down to Brown. That's going to be a 9-yard gain there on first down. 1st and 10 at the 33. Nelson dropping back, throwing this one up for grabs. Cam Thomas got it! Behind the defender, touchdown! And UTEP strikes right back. Another streak down the field. Cam Thomas, we haven't focused him enough. He's our best receiver. And there he gets behind his man and scores 6. Unfortunately, ULM coming right back with this one. Tight end running it down to the 50-yard line. Lucky that didn't go for 6 as well. Arminta, too much time in the pocket. Now he's going to throw this one on the move. A little pick route there. It feels like at least took 2 UTEP defenders out with that route. 2nd and 9 inside the 20. Arminta down to the 3 now. We just can't stop this ULM offense in the second half. 1st and goal, handoff. McReynolds sprinting outside, cuts inside, touchdown again for McReynolds. And ULM punches right back. 14-point game, under 4 minutes remaining. Nelson throwing this one. And that is a turnover on downs, and ULM would take this game. Hard fought from UTEP's offense in the second half, putting up 28 points. But unfortunately, they were so bad in the first half, and then the UTEP defense was so bad in the second half, as McReynolds wins player of the game. Well deserved. Arminta also deserving of it. I thought if you combined the offense from the second half with the defense from the first half, you win that game. But that's not how football is played, and we lost that game. Looking at the stats, Nelson had 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. I thought his second half was spectacular. Throw out his first half because it was bad. Wilson was doing really well until he got injured. Over 100 yards of scrimmage. And unfortunately, outside of Kenny Odom and Cam Thomas, nothing from Jaden Smith today. As the defense had a great first half. A lot of sacks from Katie Johnson. But they fell apart in the second. We need to see that change here in game 2 of this episode as we take on our very first Conference USA opponent of the season. It's going to be the La Tech Bulldogs. Louisiana Tech coming into El Paso. We want to show them a good time here in the city on the border as the Miners look to get the conference play started 1-0. Atari Mason coaching his 5th game here. And he's 1-3 on the year. So definitely want to go ahead and get Coach Mason some more wins, as things don't look great for him at the moment. But I mean, he's taking over one of the worst teams in college football, so I don't think that's so bad. I think they went 3-9 in 2024. So I really don't think that's terrible. Falling back here and sacked is Louisiana Tech's quarterback, because they're 0-4 on the season. So this is definitely one we can expect to be in at least. Maybe not win, but definitely should be competitive for. As the jump ball is caught, big time gain from Evan Bullock here, as he throws that one down the field on 3rd and 19. Now 1st and 10, the screen pass out will get them down to the 35-yard line, as the UTEP defense looks to be more like the second half of game 1. Bullock, too much time in the pocket, throws this one in the flats, caught down to the 27, but it is 4th and 2. They decide to go for it. Handoff up the middle, and that's a 1st down. Nice running, nice patience from Andrew Burnett there. Now 2nd and 5 at the 17. Bullock, handoff, and wide open down to the 5-yard line. Fred Robertson, already 17 yards on the day. Bullock running out of time, though, and he is sacked. Solo Barnes. Really great play here off the bench, as a matter of fact, subbing in. Now Bullock throwing this one out. That's caught down to the 2. Can the UTEP defense come up big and force a field goal? It's a read option, and Bullock gets caught up on his lead blocker there. That was a wide lead, and he actually got caught up on him. Kick is up, and it's bad. From the left hash, they can't get it. I've seen that a lot in this game so far. Actually, I haven't struggled with it myself, but out comes Malachi Nelson. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the season, about what I would have expected. And he's going to throw a pick on his first pass of the game here. RPO a little behind his target. Didn't read it right anyway. And now La Tech gets another chance to score here. Screen pass out. Down to the 1. Doesn't break the plane. Bullock already over 100 yards here in this first quarter, but no points to show for it. Robertson gets the handoff. Stretches this one out wide. Tries to juke a man out there. That was Neil Campbell, but great discipline from Campbell. Now 4th and goal. They go for it. Handoff, Robertson, kept out of the end zone. That's the Will linebacker, Udoka Eziani, and the UTEP Miners defense comes up big. Now a nice throw here as Azimwa falling for that one. It's going to be 3rd and 12. UTEP's defense looking big today as the offense can't get started, and it might be a repeat of game 1. Bullock handoff here to Robertson outside, and he's going to lose 5 yards of ground there. Now going 4 wide. 3rd and 13. Bullock stepping up, throws this one in the flats. That's going nowhere. UTEP's defense came to play this game. Screen pass out here for Ashton Emery. Of course, Hashan Wilson, again, sidelined for a few weeks. We will find out more information after this episode, as he would not return for all 3 games. Finding Emery again over the middle now. It'll be 1st and 10. A very favorable spotting there from the line judge. 1st and 10. Nelson rolling out, and he's got a man open. That's Cam Thomas on the slant there as Thomas runs it down to the 30 and steps out of bounds. 1st and 10. We're running no huddle. Nelson bubble out here to Jaden Smith. Smith breaking a tackle down to the 15. And if UTEP can walk out of this half with a score to 0, that'd be great as Smith holds on. He's got the flame because he's on fire. And he holds on there. Really nice play. Now Ashton Emery powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown Miners. So 7-0. Louisiana Tech. It's a bubble out here. Or actually just a screen. Nice play from Landry. As he gets down to the 42. Really great stuff there. Or Gandy. Devin Gandy. Bullock in the gun now. 4th and 2. They'll go for it. And Bullock steps up and he gets brought down. Guess who once again? It's Udoka Eziani. So UTEP's defense still coming up big. And now throw down to midfield. 2nd down and 1. Handoff up the middle. Taylor in relief of Ashton Emery. He'll pick up the 1st down and then some. 9-yard run there. 1st and 10. Nelson rolling out. Nelson's got a man kind of open, but he'll just take off and run with this one. 10 yards does not get the 1st down, however, as we're going to be inside 1 minute on this play. Underneath throw. Jaden Smith. He wasn't a factor in the first game. Well, he is in this one. 3rd and 10 now. Nelson dropping back, throwing this one up for grabs. Cam Thomas can't catch it. Not a very good pass there, and the Miners will have to settle for 3. Kick is up, and it is good. So good stuff here from the UTEP Miners offense, kind of coming alive in the 2nd quarter. We take a 13-0 or 10-0 lead. Man, I really can't get my math right on these. 10-0 lead in a game where on paper it looks like we're getting smoked. 17 minutes to 5. Way more offensive yardage here from Louisiana Tech. But the red zone defense has just been shut out. Back on offense again. Handoff Taylor on the off tackle. That is an 8-yard run. Be 3rd down and 2. And at this point, it feels like one more touchdown might just lock up this game. As Ashton Emery gains 9 yards on this run, down to the 40, 2nd down and 10. Nelson throwing this one out. Caught Kenny Odom. Hangs on despite the contact there. Nelson really falling back here. Throws this one out. Triple coverage, my goodness. Thankfully over the head of his target. And Louisiana Tech will get the ball back, but immediately go 3 and out. They would get the ball back once again, though, as their defense steps it up here. Throw across midfield, and this is the closest Louisiana Tech's gotten in a long while now. So we're inside 30 seconds left of the 3rd quarter here. Hanging on despite the hit. Jackson, 2 really good catches here as he's down to the 29. And we're in the 4th quarter. This one thrown out. Louisiana Tech really pushing here as UTEP's defense cannot be faulted if they give up 1 score in this game. Now Robertson gets gang tackled here. Great play by UTEP's defense. 3rd and 13. Bullock to the end zone. 1-on-1, and it's caught. Jackson with some insanely good catches on this drive. Bad defense there. And UTEP suddenly is kind of on alert here as their offense again flounders. So it's 10-7 inside 7 minutes. 4th and inches. Louisiana Tech's going for it. Handoff Burnett. Bouncing it out wide and turned over on downs. UTEP's defense comes up big. Ashton Emery with the handoff now inside 6 minutes. You got to take some time off and score on this drive. 3rd and 3. Handoff. Taylor does barely get the 1st down there as we're down to the 40. 3rd and 8 now. It's a pass. Screen pass out to Emery. Emery jukes outside. And he'll be stopped 4 yards short of a 1st down. UTEP would go for it. Maybe out of field goal range. Here's Cam Thomas catches it out on the outside. 10-yard line. Down to the 9. And timeout's being taken, Louisiana Tech. Smith with the jet touch pass. Bouncing it out to the 1. Can't cross the plane, though. 2nd and goal. Handoff Emery into the end zone with the hurdle. UTEP takes a 2-score lead, and they took some time off the clock to do so. 10-point game with 2 minutes left. Louisiana Tech throwing this one. That is a nice start to their drive as he'll get down to the 45-yard line. Been pretty impressed with Bullock despite the fact that the offense can't get anything going here. Bullock steps up in the pocket, airs this one out one-on-one. Broken up by Jalen Shelton. Nice defense there. 4th and 2. It's a handoff up the middle. Robertson gets the first down and then some a lot more. Down to the 30. 1st and 10 now, 3rd and 6 with a minute left. Louisiana Tech doesn't need a touchdown here as Bullock takes off and runs with this one down to the 18. They just need a field goal and an onside kick. Either way, you need an onside kick to win this game. Bullock throwing this one out. Caught. Down to the 11, and they got to hurry up here. 3rd down and 3 inside 50. This one thrown and broken up. No first down, and they will take the field goal. Kick is up. It doinks off the upright, and it's no good. And that effectively is the game. Onside kick is recovered by UTEP. Or no, there is no onside kick. I'm stupid. We get the ball back. We turn it, or we kneel it down. Man, I kind of lost there. Ashton Emery, player of the game off 35 rush yards, which is crazy, but I did think he was very solid in relief of Hashawn Wilson, as UTEP's defense comes up huge. 7 points allowed at the very end of the game, 17-7 your final score, with a lot of those stops being in the red zone. Incredible stuff here from UTEP, allowing 25% scoring in the red zone. Malachi Nelson having a pretty quiet game compared to game 1. Ashton Emery only 2.5 yards a carry, but 2 touchdowns. 30 yards in the passing game, pretty much nothing offensively. This was, game ball goes to the entire defense here, as we got lots of tackles for loss from a lot of different guys. 2 sacks total on the game, and great defense. Neil Campbell, your player of the week out of the Conference USA, and I definitely think that's deserved. He was spectacular. And we're on to the bye week here. Week 6, finally a chance to catch our breath. We started with some road games that then became 2 home games. Now we're going to have our 3rd straight home game after the bye. And here's some updates on our players. Manuel Marrero is really considering us, but it is starting to become a little bit of a fight. Antoine Pike is pretty much solely in our possession here. Nobody else even trying for him. And then Adrian Haywood out of New Mexico. We've got Dennis Sorensen. Tyron Bradbury is now looking to visit, but this one is becoming a bit of a battle. I don't like how you can be super ahead, but then they hit their top 5 and it kind of resets things. Like, all that ground is a little bit undone when you hit each checkpoint, I would say. Here's some new players I found. Jabu Nwachukwu, somebody I'm really interested in, box safety, JUCO Jr. And then Damon Tobias, another running back that I think could be pretty interesting here. Has some okay speed, definitely not great in that regard, but a good pass catcher. Tyrone Lehman, a tall cornerback that I think could be very impactful for us in maybe 2 or 3 years. So that's kind of an update on recruiting. Let me know any feedback you have on how I can better show recruiting. You want to see more of it? You want to see less? We need to go more deep in depth on it. It's kind of something I'm trying to learn, as it's not like NCAA 14 where you just go, here's where I'm at with everybody. There's a lot more involvement in this. It feels a little bit more like NCAA 13, I would say. Anyway, let's get into our 3rd game of the episode here as we take on the preseason favorites for the Conference USA, Liberty. The Flames have really just dominated these weak conferences they've been in for a while now. And they have a strong ground pound attack here, as we will force a throw on 3rd and 8, but they will be wide open. Julian Gray, the big target to watch out for today. Ethan Vasco, their quarterback, pretty solid as well. But their offense runs through Gray. Now read option using Gray is kind of a bait here. Picks up a 7-yard gain. We will see lots of men in the box here for UTEP today, as this run outside on the jet touch pass, very impactful down to the 25-yard line. You overload the box, sometimes they get it outside. But then on 1st and 10 at the 25, a 4-yard loss, and we will force a field goal. So now Nelson on the RPO keeps it, bounces this one outside. He gets around the DB. Now it's a foot race down to the 40, the 30, and stepping out at the 23-yard line. Malachi Nelson, a 56-yard run. Just didn't have the speed to break that one to the end zone there. Now hit as he throws to Kenny Odom. It'll be 4th and 3, but a really nice play, and UTEP settles for 3. Back on offense now. Vasco airing this one deep, one-on-one, and it's broken up. Nice play there by former player of the week, Neil Campbell. So we get the ball back. Defense still doing its job. Malachi Nelson run up the middle. Need to see him slide on those with 65 yards rushing on 2 attempts. Handoff up the middle. Emery jumping over a defender on the ground there, and Emery down to the 28-yard line. I know his yards per carry weren't great last week, but I liked what I saw from him. Handoff up the middle now, and just uncontested 10 yards there. Getting that Brazos River parting. And Cam Thomas now down to the 7, as that'll be the end of the first quarter. Really quick first quarter, as we didn't run any no huddle in that first. Now a throw to the end zone is Zinwa. Possession catch, and that is in for 6. Great drive there from Nelson and the Miners. Handoff here, Gray, and you just know he wants to get going as he's down across the 40. Big gain there of about 20. 1st and 10. They're going right back to him, but the game tackling of the Miners, that's a combination of Smith and Derek Burns, and they swarm him there. Now Gray on the outside, and they've had some success bouncing this out wide rather than up the middle on 3rd and 15, no less. Big time gain. 3rd and 8, handoff up the middle again to Gray, and guess who? It's Stratton Schufelt and the rest of this defense, as they'll force the field goal that's no good. Just barely outside, and we continue to get lucky on these field goals. Handoff, Taylor. That's a 1-yard loss. 3rd and 11 now for Nelson. 5 minutes left in this first half. Nelson hit as he throws, and that'll be a 3 and out for the Miners. So back on offense. Liberty dropping back. Vasco escapes the first sack, but then still gets taken down as Asiani's hurt on the play. That's not good news. We need him. Vasco out of the gun. They're still throwing it here. 3rd and 10. Throwing this one out. Almost intercepted there. Not caught, unfortunately, by Yesman Green. Miners get the ball back still. Ashton Emery, 8-yard run. Power running here from him. Definitely not what I expected from the freshman. Now 2nd down and 2. Eziani cuts it inside. Not Eziani, sorry. Ashton Emery down to the 34. Still learning all these names a little bit. Emery up the middle, out of the I form as a matter of fact, down to the 16. Really good stuff here from the running game. Now a screen pass out to him. Why not keep feeding him? Of course, we have to be careful with wear and tear as he fights his way down to the 1. Didn't see him breaking that tackle. Now it's a handoff, Emery in the middle. No, and it'll be 4th down and goal at the 2. And the Miners will settle for 3. Did not want to risk that one there. So we take a 10-point lead, 13-3. 1 minute left in the half. Can we force another bad play here? Big sack there on Vasco down at the 1-yard line. 3rd and 24. Vasco steps up and throws this one. Does get a lot off of it, but that will force 4th down. Miners take another timeout, and we'll get the ball back with 45 seconds remaining. Nelson rolling out, throwing this one. Caught Cam Thomas. Unfortunately, couldn't get it in front of him, as we will hurry up to the line. Now inside 30 seconds. Nelson underneath Emery's got it 1st down. And that will stop the clock here in college. Now 1st and 10 at the 40. Nelson going to roll out. Takes off with this one. A lot of green in front of him. Down inside the 20. Doesn't slide. Ball pops out. And it's picked up by the Flames. And there goes a chance for 3. We'll still go in a half up 13-3. But unfortunately, Nelson needs to learn to slide after this episode. And that's mostly me not knowing the button for it too much. As rushing yards, I didn't see this coming into this game. 150-20 in favor of the Miners. I would never have thought that'd be how it would go. 22 yards for the Flames. Did not expect that. 1st and 10 here off the run. Kenny Odom comes up hurt on the play. We'll have to see what happened to him. Now 3rd and 7. Nelson throwing this one as he's hit. And unfortunately, the ball squeaks out and it's intercepted. Had a man open, got hit as he threw it, and so the ball did not go where it needed to. So the Flames take over. 1st and 10, run for Julian Gray. And you have to think, despite only getting 22 yards in the first half, they're going to go to him again. Read option, though. Wrong call here. Julian Gray would have had a 1st down. 3rd and 4, handoff up the middle. Gray fighting his way down for a yard, but just too many orange jerseys. We're swarming. So 6th and 13 is your score. Ashton Emery out in the flats, and he'll have a 1st down. Continuing to feature our backs in the passing game. This is what I want to see out of this offense. Ashton Emery up the middle now, and this was what happens. You start spreading out the field. You start having running backs open up the middle on runs. Now 2nd and 5, a big 8-yard sack there, though, for Liberty. Forces 3rd and 13. Nelson drifting back. Dangerous throw, and it's caught! Jaden Smith at midfield. I can't believe that. Nelson over the middle, and that's Kenny Odom now who cuts it back outside. Looks like the injury didn't hamper him at all. Nelson crosses 100 yards on the day. I still can't get over that Jaden Smith catch. What a terrible throw. Now Cheeks checks in at tight end. He'll get down to the 15. It's 4th and 3. Miners go for it. This is potentially for the game here. Azimwa catches it down to the 9. A dangerous play. But you can tell we want to go ahead and go up 2-0 in this conference. Nelson out to Taylor. Cuts it back inside. Needed to cut that one out wide a little bit. But down to the 3 on 3rd and goal. Nelson to the end zone. Out of reach. And we'll still end up with a field goal, but at least we took more time. This one's a swing pass out. Caught for about 15 yards down to the 33. That's Vaughn Blue. Now Vasco throwing this one up. Caught. Julian Gray on the wheel. Yeah, you're not keeping up with him if you're a linebacker. 2nd down and 5. Vasco, nice throw here. Down to the 17-yard line. That's Reese Smith. 2nd and 11. Handoff Gray, and yet again, it took 2 tacklers. But that's what we're doing. We're just making sure at least 2 guys get to the ball every time. Now this throw out to the flats on 3rd and 14, and that'll be 4th and 9. Liberty settles for 3. It's a 1-score game once again. Nelson stepping up in the pocket and stumbling down. 99 yards on the game. Rushing, he would eclipse 100 on the next play. And then an angle route to Jaden Smith. 1st and 10. At midfield, 3rd and 8. It's a draw. Emery cuts it up, and it's short of a 1st down, but 4th and 1. We will go for it. I formation once again. Handoff. Emery wide open up the middle. Emery down inside the 30-yard line. And this UTEP Miners offense is humming. Handoff. No, it's a play action here. Wide open. Azimwa. 10. Down to the 5. And that's what happens. You run the ball well. Now you open up the play action. 3rd and goal. Play action again to the end zone. Out of reach. And it's 4th and goal to 2. And we will take the 3. Some points left up in this game and definitely giving Liberty a chance to get back in it. But smart call by Atari Mason. Don't get cute. Take the points. Handoff on 1st and 10. And Gray just can't get anything going. This may be the best I've ever seen this defense. 3rd and 8 now. Vasco airing it out one-on-one. And guess who makes the play? Neil Campbell. He's been great there on the X. And now this one, 4th and 8. And actually a nice throw over the seam. I don't know who's supposed to be in coverage there. So 2nd down and 4. Vasco throwing this one out. That is caught. And another situation. They only need 3. So they might go for the field goal here if things get a little dicey. 3rd and 15. Broken up. Nice play. And they will go for 3. Kick is up. And unlike our last game against Louisiana Tech, it is good. So now it comes down to the onside kick for real this time. Kick. Goes right to Hicks there, and it is caught. And he falls on it. And that will be your game as Malachi Nelson takes the knee. And the UTEP Miners are 2-0 to start the conference season. Who could have seen this coming? Over preseason favorite Liberty, 19-12. It's an all-defensive effort to start this year. As the offense, when they have a good game, doesn't necessarily matter. We don't win shootouts here. We're winning off stops. Really liking what I'm seeing from this UTEP team. I think if we can get more efficient on offense, on the ground I was really impressed. It's through the air. We need to make better plays, better calls. Nelson needs to be a little more accurate. but 92 yards from Emery, 104 from Nelson, 200 yards rushing on the game. That's incredible. Through the air, less so. Smith, Odom, Ezinwa, and Emery, 30 plus yards, so spreading the ball out, but gotta see better. 6 TFLs from Baldwin, 4 from Smith, and 2 sacks in this game. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Have a good one.